Superheroes on TV often doesn't work, as the lack of a movie level budget usually limits what can be done, or just comes across as cheap and half-arsed. However, Daredevil stands out not falling victim to any of these issues, telling an amazing story whilst also acknowledging the limits of television. Minor spoilers here, I'm going to give a brief overview of all the seasons. So, season 1 for me was definitely the best. At first I wasn't sure because I thought it was going to go for an adventure every week type format, with each episode being a legal case, and I'm so glad it didn't. Instead it follows a narrative throughout, which to me is what the best shows do, feeling like a movie that has too much story to tell in 2 hours. This season follows Daredevil taking on crime syndicates and corrupt law enforcement. All being orchestrated by Kingpin, who is a great villain, being not just cunning but also physically dangerous as well. The second season isn't as strong, but still pretty good, bringing in plotlines with the Punisher, Elektra and these ninjas. Now this all works, but I wish they were connected more. They feel a bit disjointed. I wanted them to tie together at the end, but they don't at all, leading to a pretty underwhelming ending. I did watch Defenders, which wraps up the Elektra and the ninja storyline, but overall that show was just meh. Now on to season 3. I know for a lot of people this is the favourite season, but I don't know, I just thought it was good, not great. I think its pacing wasn't as good as the other seasons, taking a while to get going, and it felt a little rushed in the end to me. But I did like seeing Kingpin returning as the main villain, as well as bringing in Bullseye as sort of the muscle, I guess. Now on to the characters. Matthew Murdock, aka Daredevil, is great, with the character now becoming one of my favourite superheroes because of this show. His relentless determination to upholding the law, even if it means taking it into his own hands, sacrificing his personal life for the safety of the ones he cares about, and grappling with his beliefs all lead to great challenges and growth for the character over the series. We also have Foggy and Karen, who are kinda like his Ron and Hermione. These two get their own challenges, making them integral to the show, feeling like an actual team with Daredevil and just sort of being generic sidekicks. One of my favourite parts of the show is how grounded it is, making it feel as if it could be real, except for those undead ninja things. But other than that, it's mostly realistic. It acts as a breath of fresh air from current superhero media, which delves more into fantasy and sci-fi. This is a crime show, first and foremost, making it really stand out and showing that superheroes don't all need to fall under the same genre. This realistic crime feel is also a huge part of the mortality of characters. Characters can die in unfair ways, just like real life. Even Daredevil himself is just human, who when injured doesn't just spring back up. The mature rating really helps this, as it allows the show to graphically show danger, creating an unsafe aspect for any character, no matter how main you are. The choreography is also amazing in this show. We get some great sequences that are like one takes, and the corridor fight, that's what it's really well known for. And I love how the characters get tired during them, they're not just unstoppable. Again, sort of leading into my previous point on the mortality of people. People are people in this, and I think that helps us sympathise with it more, and it makes it feel more serious. So overall, this show is great as a much more mature take on superheroes, taking on stories that show the worst parts of the criminal world, with a great cast of characters that you become invested in, from the heroes to the villains. Daredevil himself being my favourite in the show, as well as I mentioned, just becoming one of my favourite superheroes in general. I just like how he's this self-sacrificing, determined hero, but also someone who is somewhat addicted to his vigilante persona. If you like numbers, I would probably give this an 8 out of 10. A great show, feeling fresh amongst the plethora of superhero films and shows. I did see that it's returning on Disney+, hopefully as a continuation and not a reboot, because if Disney messes this up, I'm gonna... Alright, that's pretty much it. See ya.